Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How are you? I hope you are in good condition. Welcome to parallel session 1 of the 8th International Language and Language Teaching Conference in Room 3. My name is Natalia Desi, a third semester student of Sanata Dharma University, as today's moderator in this room. I will be in charge of this parallel session. Before we begin, please let me read the rule first. First, each presentation will last for 15 minutes. Second, in this parallel session, there will be 2 presentations delivered in a row. Third, I will remind via the raise hand if you have 5 minutes left, then I will send a notification in the chat box if you have 2 minutes left. Fourth, we will have Q&A session after all presentations have been delivered. And fifth, other rules can be found in the program book. All right. For the first parallel session, there are going to be 2 presentations in this room by Miss Christine Permatasari and her partner, Miss Elizabeth Ratri Dianjati, and Miss Maria Assunta Kusumaningrum. All right. Let's start the first presentation with entitled Designing Indonesian for Specific Purpose Material for Customer Service. It will be delivered by Miss Christine Permatasari and Miss Elizabeth Ratri Dianjati. Miss Elizabeth and Miss Christine, you may have your time.
Okay, thank you, Mbak Natalia. Okay, can you hear my voice? Okay, thank you. Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Ratri, and also my partner Christine. We are from Lembaga Bahasa Universitas Sanata Dharma. We are going to deliver our presentation entitled Designing Indonesian for Specific Purpose Materials for Customer Service. Our presentation will be consists of the introduction and also the findings, the methodology, and also the evaluation. Okay, so our research was inspired by a request from our client, Teleperformance Indonesia. So they requested an Indonesian language training program for business on the beginning of June 2021, and the program will be conducted on mid-June. And the requested program was categorized as ISP, or Indonesian Specific Purpose. It is a part of the Indonesian language for foreign learners. It is Indonesian language training aimed to achieve language skill in certain topics such as business, legal, literature, academic writing, and so forth. So this tailored program was commonly administered in our institution and also other ILFL institution. However, ILFL teachers still face problem in conducting the program due to lack of resources. Therefore, the teacher depend on the adjustment from English for specific purpose material. For this reason, we conducted of how a set of Indonesian instructional materials for specific purpose is developed. And then we use certain methodology, and then for this part will be presented by Miss Christine.
All right, thank you, Mbak Ratri. So here I would like to explain about the methodology since it is ISP. So the aim of the study is to develop ISP material. So we use a R&D cycle. And here we, as you see in the figure on the slides, we combine two method, ADDIE and also CAMS. So here in ADDIE, there are 5 steps that in each steps or stage includes the CAMS steps or method. So in the first analysis, we, as the researcher, we identify the goal, topics, and general purposes, and also we identify the characteristic of the student, and we also conduct the pre-assessment, and in design, we specify the objectives and also listing the topics and subjects, and in development, we select the activities and resources and consider necessary support services, and then we implement what we have developed and designed. And the last one, we evaluate the program or and the topics. All right, and then for the next, the discussion, there are several stages, and in the analysis part will be explained by Mbak Ratri.
Okay, in the first stage, we conducted meta-analysis by interviewing the HR manager from our client to find their expectation from the program. And then we interviewed the learners itself to know their language competency. And then we also conducted pre-assessment using Edmodo to know their general Indonesian language skills. So as the result, we found out that there would be 2 students from Philippines. They learned Indonesian language in 2019 for 30 hours in our institution. And they have been living in Indonesia for 2 years. However, they rarely used Indonesian language in their daily life. Mostly they use Tagalog and also English. And then they worked as team leader and a customer service agents in Teleperformance Indonesia. Teleperformance Indonesia is a company provides outsourced customer service agent. And then their company requests 40 hours of offline training learning. And then the learners were expected to perform customer service tasks in Indonesian language. So they have to be able to handle telephone call and also email in Indonesian language. So after we conducting the need analysis, we tried to design the program, and then for this stage will be delivered by Miss Christine.
All right, thank you. So in design, since the program is developed for 40 hours and the duration of his meetings 2 hours, so we decided there were 8 specific topics discussed in the program, and it's topic for 2 hours. And then for the remaining hours, it's for assessment, mid-test and final test, and also the review meeting before each test. So from the 8 topics that we found, and then we classify the material in 3 categories of the topics. So the first is telephoning. So in telephoning, the student learned how to make and answer a business call, confirming customer information, handling complaints, and also apologizing. And in person communication, the learners still learn how to handle a customer's problem, and then they learn how to give advice and instruction. And also in the last one, the last category is writing formal or business email. Here they learn how to compose email and then to respond customer problems. All right, so that's for the design. And also in the next stage is development. So in the development, we use a text-based learning approach for Fish and Joyce in 2002. So in one cycle, there are 4 stages. So in text-based learning, so the first, we give the first we build the knowledge of the field. Yeah, so here we provide pre-activity. So in the pre-activity, it is to set the context to the student. So the activities were varied, like answering mini survey question or reading infographic and so on. And then the next stage, we give a text model. So here, the text model is both written and then spoken. So we, in this stage, we have reading and listening sections. And then the genre of the text was selected in accordance with the objective of each unit. Yeah, because we have earlier, we have the 3 categories. And then in joint construction in a third stage, still with the guidance of the teacher, the learner comprehend the schematic structure, linguistic feature, and language expressions. All right, the last one is independent construction. The learners produce both written and spoken text independently. All right, so that's for the development. Next stage will be explained by Mbak Ratri.
Okay. So after we designed the material, we implemented the material. So the program was started on mid-June up to September 2021. It was administered once a week for 2 hours. And then at first the program was implemented offline, but due to the pandemic situation that got worse, we moved the class platform into Zoom. And during the class activity, we followed the teaching and learning cycle that was mentioned by Ms. Christine previously. And then during the implementation, we found unexpected findings. In fact, our students' learning pace is out of our expectation. They need time more time because they need time to adjust with the language, and they spend more time to recall the language they learned previously. So the learning process here quite abstract in the first and the second unit. Therefore, we have to adjust the implementation. Since the student pace is not really fast, we could not implement the whole 8 units. We only reach 7 units. So in addition, the assessment was adjusted according to the student progress. So after we implemented the material, we developed evaluations. So it will be delivered by Ms. Kristen.
All right, so in the evaluation, we implemented the material, and then in each topic, we have found some evaluation or notes, and then we also provide suggestions. So like Mbak Ratis explained earlier, from 8 suggested topics, only 7 topics were successfully discussed in the classroom. So we have several key points of the evaluations. So the first is about the coverage of the material. So here, the researcher found that we should include a topic outside the work. So it will help the student to enrich their vocabulary, and also their vocabulary might be varies as well if we widen the coverage of the material. And then the next one is number of this exercise are not balanced. So in certain units, the number of the exercise were too excessive. So that's why in unit 1 and unit 2, it spends like 3 meetings of each topic to be finished, to finish the topic. And then also the other key point is that the variation of exercise, it should be varied as well, and it should support the learning objectives and also the focus of the language skill and target. So here we found that some exercise do not really support the language skill and the target. And then we have lack of sources. Like in our introduction, we explained that for designing this ISP, we need to adapt to English materials. That's why here we need more sources. And then arrangement of the learning topics, we need to rearrange the topic again. Yeah, for example, the writing emails, we should put in the beginning of the program because the student really deal with that material. And also another suggestion, we should recommend the student to do the flipped learning, also give more homework, like so that they have more exposure to practice the language. Now we go to the last point for the conclusion, and recommendation will be delivered by Mbak.
So from our research, we concluded that ADDIE and also CAMS 8 framework is feasible to develop ISP for business instructional design. However, each steps must be evaluated deeper due to the time constraints from the request of our client, and also from the learner's daily situation, like working situation, or also their workload in the office. And then for recommendation for this research, the first one, to improve the design and also to add preparation course for the next program. Therefore, the learners can reach the B1 level. So it means they already be able to use affixes such as ber, me, mei, and also passive structure. So that's all our presentation. Thank you for the time, and also we are open to question and suggestion later. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Miss Christine and Miss Elizabeth. That was an insightful presentation. Let's give applause to Miss Christine and Miss Elizabeth. All right, we're going to the next presentation. So if you have any questions, please write it down first because we're going to go the Q&A session after all the presenters present the presentation. All right, for the second presentation in the parallel session 1, the title is The Use of Digital Video Presentation for ESP in Aerospace Engineering class, and it will be delivered by Ms. Maria Asumta Kusumaningrum from Institut Teknologi Dirgantara Adi Sucipto. Ms. Maria, you may have your time.
Oke, thank you Mbak Natalia. Mbak Natalia, can you see my presentation?
Yes, Ms. Maria.
Oke, ya. Oke, halo Bapak Ibu, selamat pagi, good morning. My name is Maria Deni. I am a lecturer in Institut Teknologi Dirgantara Adi Sucipto. So ITDA is a private institute in Yogyakarta under the Air Force Foundation. I teach English for aerospace engineering. And today I would like to share my experience about the use of digital video presentation in aerospace engineering class. Okay. Yeah, so first of all, I want to tell my classroom condition. So this classroom was the first trial for me to apply Screencast-O-Matic at that time. We were facing in the beginning of the pandemic. And according to my previous semester, most of my students did not seem to be ready in delivering information in front of the classroom. And it is because many pauses in the students' talk. So it indicates that some hesitation and confusion on what to say during the presentation, and it which made their performance exceeded the allocated time. And the background knowledge for my aerospace engineering students is heterogeneous. So there are previous studies on the utilization of digital videos. The first studies is from Ranker in 2015. It showed that the digital video provides opportunities for students to work in a visual means to communicate complex ideas. And that the second studies from Morgan in 2013, the result show that the use of video making activities may engage and motivate students in their learning activity. And then the third studies from Kokturk in 2016, the results showed that the utilization of digital video recordings may not only bolster the learner's self-confidence, but also encourage them to take risks with the target language. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. So I carried out, sorry, this study will answer the question, only one research question. One research question for this study is what are the perspective of the students on the use of digital video presentation on English class? I carried out a qualitative study that aims to understand the students' experience and see the real situations as they are. So to get the data, I conducted a reflective journal and interview. And to help me analyze the data, I use the theory from the activity theory. So it is to provide a clear illustration to the screencast-o-matic integration and also its related activities performed in the classroom. So as we see the figure here, so based on the theory from Hartman and Ditford in 2010, there are 3 levels and their related aspects related to the activity theory here. However, the study only focuses on the second level of the activity theory. So in the diagram, the subject here is the teacher, and the subject collective here is the student. So the students share the similar object, for example, utilizing the screencast-o-matic to learn language. And the object here also refers to the intended activity. The students can have different purposes of learning activity. And here the teacher's role is to set a particular outcome. So the teacher is to set the particular outcome of the learning object. The main points addressed in this study are, first, the advantages and challenges in creating a video presentation using screencast-o-matic. And the second point is the teacher roles during the completion of the task. The third point is the extent the task provides language learning opportunities for the students. And the fourth is the group activities or the students' activities and interaction to complete the task. The participants of the study were 30 first-year students who took Bahasa Inggris Teknik 1. And Bahasa Inggris Teknik 1 here is in Aerospace Engineering Study Program in Institut Teknologi Dirgantara Adi Sucipto. Okay, so we come to the procedures of the study. So it took about 2 until 3 weeks to complete this project. So the first step here was having Zoom class or Zoom activity. So we discussed the topic. It's about the parts of the airport. And then we discussed the task. I, as the teacher, informed the rubric and also introduced the screencast-o-matic to my students. And actually, I also have prepared the video tutorial how to use the screencast-o-matic. The next step was the students' role within 1 week. So the students make a video presentations, and also the students can consult their project, their progress from the project, and also their problems. On the other hand, within 1 week also, the teacher's role is to give the feedback on the students' progress and also give the solution on the students' problem. And on the presentation day, I, as the teacher, and also my students watch the students' videos. So it took 2 meetings, so 2 Zoom activities to watch the videos. So after we watch one video, and we have question and answer sections, and also we will give some of the constructive feedback to the video. The students' perspective were garnered from the individual reflective journal. So it provides some points in level 2 of the activity theory. So every student wrote one journal and they were allowed to express themselves in Bahasa Indonesia. So why Bahasa Indonesia? So the students could provide clear and also deep responses to each reflective point. And the journal was written in 1 week period. And the second is interview. So after the journaling process, I invited 3 students. So 3 students here who gave the complete and detailed responses in the journal. I conducted interview by Zoom meeting one by one. So it took 3 meetings with a different student. And similarly, the interview was conducted in Bahasa Indonesia. Okay, we come to the findings. So the data analysis revealed numerous themes. So the first theme is the technological tool. So numerous students admitted that Screencast-O-Matic is a new technology for them. Some of them said that Screencast-O-Matic is a new way of doing a presentation. So it is shown from the student statement here. From students 5, from the journal, she said that it was her first time to know Screencast-O-Matic. And from student 9, from the journal, he said that he could get new knowledge in creating a video. And also from the interview from students 12, he said that usually I did face-to-face presentation. The second theme is teacher's role. The results showed that the teacher guided the students in dealing with Screencast-O-Matic and utilizing it. So it means that the supportive teacher. For instance, students 1 from the journal said that his teacher helped him in installing Screencast-O-Matic for the first time and explained how to save and recording in his laptop. And also from students 22, in the journal, he said that his teacher reminded him to check the grammar and some typos. The third theme is students' role. So the students' experience indicated that they have supportive classmates and they can share the responsibilities. So supportive classmates and sharing responsibilities showed in the statements from students 19 in the journal. His friend lent him a laptop since his laptop could not work properly. And also from students 12 in the interview, he said that when his classmates had finished creating the video, they shared their experiences. Also from the journal, from students 3, he said that he discussed things he should do to improve the sound. The fourth theme is language learning process. So it deals with the opportunity to practice the students' English writing and speaking skill. The first point or the first statement from students 13 in the journal, she said that she had to write a script in English for a video presentation and check how to pronounce. And also from the interview from students 5, he said that Screencast-O-Matic seemed to be a digital mirror. He could see and listen how he presented the material. Okay, the conclusion of the study divided into 2 points, success stories and also the challenge. The first point is for the success story. The first point is the digital presentation project successfully gave a more challenging for students to achieve the classroom objective. And the second point is the use of Screencast-O-Matic to complete the project shows the students how to do a class presentation through a completely different venue. And then the third point is that the project appeared to provide students and their teacher with a supportive classroom community. And the last point is the project gave the students language learning opportunities through the repeated learning behaviors they did in completing the project. However, the challenge for this project is the technical issues for Screencast-O-Matic, such as poor sound quality and difficulties in saving Screencast-O-Matic recording in the student's computer. Okay, so this is what I can share to you, Bapak Ibu. Thank you. Thank you, Mbak Natalia.
All right, thank you for the amazing presentation, Miss Maria. And now it's time for the questions and answer session. I will invite only 3 questions, 1 participant, 1 questions, and you may use the raise your hand feature on Zoom, then type your questions on the chat box. And don't forget to mention your name, affiliation, and to whom the question is addressed, then the questions. Or if you don't mind, you can directly ask the presenter, like turn on your mic, and don't forget to turn on your camera too. All right, while we waiting the others prepare the questions, I would like to ask to Miss Elizabeth and Miss Christine. Um, uh, Both of you mentioned about flip learning, and I see in this room there are many of my classmates, which is we are in 3rd semester. Uh, could you explain a little bit about flip learning and why do you suggest flip learning and homework? That's my questions, Miss. Thank you.
All right, so thank you for the question. Well, basically, like Mbak Ratris explained earlier, our student has had a problem to manage their time because they have lots of work. So sometimes when we gave homework, they refuse to do the homework. And then we have made some adjustment for them. And then we come to the conclusion that for the flip learning itself, especially for reading the text, yeah, because in our book we provide reading text, and then also we provide other materials as well. So for that things, we can suggest them to read it at home, including to learn the structure or a spoken expression and so on. So when they come to the class, they already know about the things that we were going to talk or discuss, like that. Maybe Mbak Ratri would like to add something?
Yes. So actually, okay. So actually, we suggest flip learning and homework because we want to make sure that in every meeting we have a meaningful discussion, and also we want to enhance the interaction between students and also teachers. Therefore, we suggested that like reading text and also maybe writing exercise will be practiced at home. So we want to we want to encourage their independence in learning. So because as you know, we have very limited times, only like once a week, 2 hours, and the company just give 40 hours to learn. That's why we cannot waste a lot of time. We make sure we use the time as efficient as we can. So that's our suggestion. Thank you for the question, Ms. Natalia.
Thank you, Miss Christine and Miss Elizabeth, for answering my questions. And we were still waiting for the other questions. For the participants, don't hesitate to write down your questions on the chat box if you don't want to asking directly. And don't forget to mention your name, affiliation, and to whom the questions is addressed, then the questions. We still have 10 minutes for the questions and answer session. So please don't lose this chance to ask our great presenters for the parallel session ones. And I would like to remind the participants again, don't be hesitate to write down your questions on the chat box if you shy or you don't want to ask directly to our presenters. And don't forget to mention your name, affiliation, and um, to whom the questions is addressed, then the questions. All right, we have questions from Mbak Agni. It's for Mbak Ratri. Do you have any obstacle, Mbak Ratri and Mbak Atta? For Mbak Ratri and for Mbak Atta. Do you have any obstacles when assigning the students with some homework before joining the class? For example, did some of them refuse to work on the assignment? Thank you. How did you deal with that? So it's for Miss Christine, yes?
Yes, Miss Christine and Miss. My name, my nickname is Ratri, and Miss Christine's nickname is Atta. Actually.
Sorry, Miss. All right. Time is yours, Miss, to answer the questions.
Okay, thank you so much. Hello, Mbak Agni. Thank you for the questions. So I would like to share my experience in teaching the students. So yes, mostly they refused the homework, but they don't refuse it directly. Usually they just didn't do the homework. And the time when we were going to check the homework, they usually they said, maaf, saya lupa. Like that. Oh, ada PR, like that. Or sometimes they also said, oh maaf, saya bekerja sampai sore, jadi saya tidak ada waktu. It's very normal actually, because first when they are adult learners, they also have a like priority. Their ultimate goal in Indonesia actually is working. That's why learning language is just an additional things for them. So as a teacher, usually we can just, okay, it's okay, but we need to enhance the, what is it? Enhance the practice in the classroom. So for example, if for example, for grammar practice, we don't do all of the practice. We can choose the most difficult part and also the prominent one for them, and then we can instruct them to do the practice. Yes, usually that's what we usually do here. Yes, Miss Christine, maybe you want to add something.
All right, so actually almost the same like Mbak Ratri, but it happened when I thought one topic, like certain subject. So I invited them to play an online game. So basically it was homework. But then because at the time I knew that they wouldn't do the homework, so that's why I convert that task into online game. Yeah, at the time I used quizzes, and then I did like, oh, please do not forget to work the homework ya. Ayo dikerjakan ya. Saya tunggu ada deadline. So please, we have the deadline. Please do that exercise. And then after that, they completed the online task, through the online game, like that. So I think that's what we can share according to our experience. All right. I think that's all, Mbak Natalia.
Thank you, Miss Christine and Miss Ratri, for answering the question from Mbak Agni. And we still have 5 minutes left for the question and answer session. So if you, we got one question from Pascalis Kurniawan Sanjaya. I think this is one of my classmates. From Universitas Sanata Dharma, I want to ask to Miss Christine and Miss Ratri, when we apply a flipped learning, what if we don't understand the material given? Can we directly ask the teacher from home, or should we wait for discussion at school first? Yes, Miss Ratri and Miss Christine.
Okay. So from our experience, usually the student will wait until the class session, because as we know, they are workers here. So they in daily time, they don't have time to learn. Usually they open the learning material in the evening, and then and sometimes they open the materials one day or maybe 1 hour before the class session. That's why usually in our experience, they ask the question directly in the classroom. But maybe for you as university students, right? You will have the option, right? You can ask your lecturer directly, or maybe you can also discuss with your friends, right? Maybe your friends already have the answer for that. I think that's what I can share. Maybe Miss Christine, you want to add something?
All right, thank you. Maybe one tips. So when the student do the flip learning, when you are studying by yourself, try to take notes, everything that probably you don't understand. And like Mbak Ratri explained, you may ask your friend, but if you still feel confused, and then take notes everything that you want to ask, and then maybe in the next meeting, or if you have other occasion or opportunity to talk to your teacher or lecturer, you may discuss the something that you that makes you confused. I think that's all from. Thank you.
Thank you for the amazing answer, Miss Ratri and Miss Christine. And there's one questions left. I'm sorry for Miss Agni, but there's only one questions for one participant. So I'm going to go for Miss Marta from Universitas Sanata Dharma. Good afternoon. I would like to ask Miss Maria Assunta, what was your consideration to use Screencast-O-Matic? And also, can you mention another benefits of using it? Thank you. Miss Maria, time
Yeah.
is yours.
Okay, thank you, Mbak Natalia. Why I choose Screencast-O-Matic? The first one is because Screencast-O-Matic is the free version, yeah. So we can use it freely, and then it is user-friendly application. And one of the subject that I taught, one of the goal of the subject is to improve the speaking ability for my students. So I think that Screencast-O-Matic is one of the best choice for the digital presentation. And at that time, it is in the beginning of the pandemic. So I still adapt how to teach from the online learning to from the offline learning to the online learning. So the Screencast-O-Matic here is the best way at that time, I think, when I choose for the presentation. And the benefit is that in the Screencast-O-Matic presentation or the digital presentation using Screencast-O-Matic, so the students can prepare their presentations well. Okay, thank you, Mbak Natalia.
Thank you, Miss Maria, for the inspiring answer. And now,
Mbak Natalia, sorry, can I ask a question to Mbak Maria Deni?
oh yes, Miss, yes.
All right, so Mbak Maria Mbak Deni, actually it is so interesting, and actually I am now experiencing to teach student using presentation devices. So how you deal with the challenges faced by the student? Because right now I asked my student, and they are high school student, and I asked them to make the presentation using the same device, the same application. So how you deal with that? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Atta, Mbak Atta. Okay, yeah. So actually it is challenging because as we know that not all of my students have the same good connectivity, internet connectivity. So it is also one of the challenging. And the other one is that we also deal with some of the the students who cannot who cannot apply or who cannot use the screencast-o-matic well, for example, they cannot save the recording, or for example, some of the types of the laptop cannot apply screencast-o-matic. The problems that I faced, then how to deal with the solution is that, so we have WhatsApp group actually. So it takes times to do the consultation. So I have to spend my time to ask to my students, what is your problem? And then I give the solution. So I think that the communications will be the solution for this project.
All right, thank you, Mbak Denny.
Thank you, Miss Maria. That's wonderful answer, I guess. All right, that's the end of the parallel session 1. After this, we're going to have lunch break from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Then we will continue with parallel session 2. And for the exit ticket, it will be given on the parallel session 2, so don't go anywhere. And yes, you may leave the room. And for the parallel session 2, you could joining the room 3 again for the parallel session 2. Thank you for the presenter for today and all the I'm sorry, for the presenter and the participants. And see you on the parallel session 2. Thank you.
Thank you so much. See you.
Thank you, Miss.
Thank you, Mbak Natalia.
Can we leave now? Okay.
Yes, Miss, you can leave now. Thank you, Miss Patri.